Jai Hind, dear students. Today I am here with my course title Understanding Literary Genres and Devices along with my colleague Dr. Vishal Singh. In Module 5, Poetry as a Literary Form, this is 5th week's lecture number 5 on Thematic and Stylistic Analysis, Reading and Appreciating Poetry. Let's have an outline of the today's lecture. We will discuss lecture overview. What does it mean to read poetry? Further, we will discuss levels of reading, the role of the reader, close reading, context and meaning, approaches to interpretation, and lastly, we will talk about steps for reading and appreciating poetry. Let's begin with lecture overview. From knowing poetry to experiencing poetry as a living form of art and language. It traces the evolution of poetic expression from mimesis given by Aristotle to emotion, interpretation, and reader engagement as given in reader response theory. It understands how form, theme, diction, and style collaborate to produce poetry meaning. It views the poem as a dynamic space of interaction between text, reader, and context. It develops critical sensitivity to the aesthetic structures and affective patterns within poetic discourse. To develop a refined literary sensibility and critical awareness as to how poetic meaning is crafted, communicated, and experienced. To understand poetry is must. What does it mean to read poetry? According to C.S. Lewis, a poem unread is not a poem at all. Reading poetry is more than understanding words. It is an immersive, imaginative, and emotional experience. Reading poetry allows readers to access the essence of life, human spirit, and nature in ways prose cannot do. Universal truths are concentrated in poetic language only. Reading poetry aloud transforms it into a personal and performative experience, revealing rhythm, pitch, stress, and pauses. Reading poetry involves noticing details, asking questions about speaker, tone, imagery, audience, and context. And it interacts with the poem as a kind of conversation. Poetry often resists fixed interpretation. There is always a scope for multiple, subtle, and evolving readings along with its meaning. Let's talk about levels of reading poetry. Number 1, elementary reading, that is primary beginning of reading. Basic level of reading learned in early schooling. Basic level of reading learned in early schooling, also called rudimentary or initial reading. Example, a child learning to read simple sentences like, "The cat is black." At this level, readers acquire foundation skills, moving from non-literacy to beginning literacy, recognizing letters, understanding basic words, and reading short paragraphs. Further, we have inspectional reading, which is an intelligently skimming a book to get an overview of its content, structure, and main ideas. For example, reading the table of contents, headings, and summaries to understand what a book is about before deciding to read it completely. This level helps readers grasp the surface of the book efficiently, avoiding the difficulty of trying to understand everything on a first linear read. skimming a textbook chapter to identify key concepts and sections before a detailed study. Thirdly, we have analytical reading. According to Francis Bacon, some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. Analytical reading goes deeper than inspectional reading and is necessary for thorough understanding, not just entertainment or having information. For example, studying a philosophical text carefully, questioning arguments, and evaluating evidence to fully understand the author's ideas. It is systematic, intensely active, involving organized questioning and engagement until the reader fully understands the book. Annotating a novel, analyzing themes, structure, and literary techniques to make the work one's own is also a level of analytical reading. Literal reading means reading line by line. What are the words and what are their meanings? Evaluative reading is beyond the lines. How do these words contribute to the text as a whole and or the world outside the text? Inferential reading, that is reading between the lines. What are the words suggesting and implying in this situation? Further, we can talk about syntonical reading, which is also called comparative reading, which involves reading multiple books on a subject and relating them to one another to gain a deeper understanding of the theme. Example, studying various historical accounts of French Revolution to identify patterns, differences, and overarching themes. Highly active and demanding reading allows the reader to construct new insights or analyses that may not exist in any single book. Combining research from several scientific studies to propose a new theory or interpretation is also an example of highly active reading. Let's talk about the role of the reader. To give a text an author is to impose a limit on the text. According to Ronald Burns, who writes in his work, The Death of the Author. According to Widdowson, in his Practical Stylistics, interpretation and the role of reader, in a sense, learning to read poetry is the discovery of significance without certainty. So, interpreting a poem does not, and indeed cannot, depend on the knowledge of cultural allusions or of the individual or social circumstances of its composition. Whatever a poem means is what it means to its readers. They make it their own. Reader response criticism suggests that meaning arises from the reader's personal experience and engagement with the text. Reader response criticism emerged in the 1960s and 70s, emphasized upon subjective reader response as a valid criteria for literary analysis. Further, the role of the reader is transactional reading, where meaning arises from the interaction between the text and the reader's knowledge and emotions. That includes aesthetic reading, that is emotional and immersive reading, and efferent reading, that is focused on information by the reader. Further, affective stylistics, which is given by Fish, a text's meaning exists only through the act of reading. It has no inherent meaning independent of the reader. According to subjective reader response given by Bleach, meaning is determined solely by reader's personal response. Interpretations are compared to find common patterns. According to psychological reader response theory given by Holland, a reader's psychological motivations shape their interpretation, revealing insights into the reader's psyche. According to social reader response theory, interpretations are influenced by an interpretive community where shared reading approaches guide understanding. In his Horizon of Expectations, Hans Robert Joss writes that a set of knowledge, beliefs, and cultural norms are the ingredients that a reader brings to a text. Let's talk about close reading, which was advocated by new critics in 1940s. It is derived from I.A. Richards' Practical Criticism written in 1929 and William Empson's The Seven Types of Ambiguity written in 1930. Accordingly, a text is complete and unified in itself. That is, text is autotelic text. Further, meaning exists without reference to external evidence like author's intention, history, biography, social cultural setup, and conditions. There are fallacies to avoid, which is advocated by Wimsett and Beardsley. Accordingly, there is intentional fallacy, which talks about judging a text based on author's intention. There is affective fallacy, that is, judging a text based on the reader's emotional response. Thus, focus of close reading is on formal and linguistic aspect of text, figures of speech, images, symbols, interaction between words, rhythm and metaphor, form as a structure of meaning. In close reading, linguistic elements also show tension, irony, ambiguity, and paradox. According to close reading, a reconciliation of diverse impulses and equilibrium of opposed forces are created, as said by the famous critic Clent Brooks. Let's talk about context and meaning, which is very important when reading of poetry is concerned. Context means external factors surrounding a text such as author's biography and intention, historical or socio-cultural background, reader's personal response or societal norms. New critics argue that context is irrelevant for understanding the text itself. Meaning means the significance inherent in the text, derived from language, form and structure. There is interaction between themes, symbols and imagery. The meaning can also be deciphered through tension, ambiguity and paradox within the work. Meaning is self-contained and the text is autotelic, that is, complete in itself. Let's talk about certain approaches to interpretation. Number 1, formalist or new criticism approach. The text itself, its language, structure, form, and literary devices form the meaning. According to historical contextual approach, history, culture, or social context also surround the text and provide the text its meaning. According to biographical approach, the author's life and experiences become meaningful to give meaning. Psychological approach, human mind, emotions, motivations of the characters or the author are also there to bring out the meaning of the text. Reader response approach: the reader's experience and interpretation is the deciding factor to bring out the meaning of the text. Marxist socio-economic approach: class, power, and economic conditions become very important as far as meaning is concerned. According to feminist gender approach, gender roles, patriarchy, and female marginalized perspectives also decide the meaning of the text. According to post-colonial approach, colonization, identity, and cultural hegemony influence the meaning of the text. Let's talk about steps for reading and appreciating poetry. First of all, we may examine a poem's elements, that is structure, form, language, meter, theme, so as to understand its meaning and appreciate it deeply. So what are the steps to understand the poem completely? Number 1, read the poem carefully, read it aloud, map rhyme scheme, then scan the poem, then break down the structure, determine the form, study the language, study content and theme, identify the narrator, and then paraphrase it line by line. To summarize this lecture, I would say poetry is a dynamic interplay between poet, text, and reader. Understanding poetry requires attention to form, sound, imagery, and meaning. Modern poetry expands the boundaries of expression and embraces multiple voices and media. The reader's engagement, such as emotional, intellectual, and performative, is always crucial to understand the meaning of the poetry. Despite challenges, poetry enriches reader's perception, empathy, and develops his or her critical thinking, and remains a vital art form in contemporary literature. Thank you.